Supreme Being. Today's video I'm gonna make here in the company of a woodpecker. I don't know if you hear it. We've been having one around the whole year because we have a lot of trees, and that's a very comforting energy considering the topic that I'm going to speak about today, and that's about the hurt child within us. In spirituality, generally, they speak a lot about the child within us, but this child actually is a very real thing. And the child within us is always with us, it never dies. And this comes to us through the memories of our own childhood. No matter how old we actually grow, we are always the children of our parents. And we will always feel our parents as our parents. So with them, we are always children. So this child within us is always alive. It's there with us our entire life. However, the connection with Andre gave us so many downloads together and made us experience things that we could not even imagine that we would experience. And this has been one of the strongest things that we have realized these days. And it is exactly about the child within us. We all do come to experience what it is to be a child. And many people come also to experience what it is to be a parent of a child. I'm gonna jump up to this a little bit later on. But we actually indeed choose our parents very carefully. And opposite to what many people believe, that we actually choose parents which are like us, like our vibration, this is not exactly so. We actually choose parents that are going to give us a different experience of the ego. And I'm going to explain you why now. Each child that comes on earth comes to experience the same pattern of behavior as their parents. So this is a process that happens automatically as soon as we appear here on earth. In my past life regressions and choose energy healings, I have seen how when the child, the soul of the child, is around the parents, already ready to come, to be born, they already have their own ego. They already have their own character and individuality. I've spoken about this in another video of when the ego is formed. So we already have our own essence. And guess what? We don't want to come to experience the same essence. We want to experience something different. So we choose parents with a totally different, let's say, pattern of ego. Because this is the easiest way to be in the skin of someone else, almost literally. It's a subconscious process within the child that it starts to copy everything it observes around once it is being born. That's why we actually forget. We choose to forget our true essence. Because if we remember our true essence, we will never go through this unique experience. And so, the child comes to experience the nature of their parents. You can consider that most probably this nature is also not going to be the true nature of the parents themselves, because they took this nature also from their parents. This pattern of behavior, this pattern of ego. So many times this is just a trait that is passed on from generation to generation to generation. And what is happening right now actually is that many people have come on earth to stop this process so we can start a brand new trend, which is very difficult because you literally have to break yourself into pieces so that you can find the truth of yourself within yourself, what really you are, what really you want to do. That's why there's so many people, especially nowadays, under the influence of all the energies that we have, that they still don't know what they're supposed to do in life. They have no idea what is their mission. And it seems like whatever they have done in life, they just have never liked it. They hate their jobs. They hate their lives. Why? Because of exactly the hurt child within themselves. Because once the child starts to experience someone else's ego, taking it as their own ego, the child is already hurt. So this child within ourselves, we tend to hurt it from the very beginning of appearing on earth. And that's why many people are so much hurt nowadays, especially with this massive process of awakening that is happening all over earth. Because it really hurts for you not to be able to find yourself, not to be able to understand what you really want to do. The easiest way to do that is actually to go back to your childhood memories and try to remember what you wanted to be as a child, what you wanted to do as a child, as a very little child. This most probably has to do with your very true essence. Me, for example, I always wanted to sing, and I never fulfilled this properly because I never got truly supported, and I never really found anyone to truly believe in my talent. And as a result, I just didn't develop my talent, which I had from very little, and I'm very much aware of it. But it stayed like this. Maybe that's why now I am speaking on YouTube so much, and generally my job all my life was connecting with a lot of people, speaking with a lot of people, because it's still related with the throat chakra. So if I'm not singing, at least I am speaking. And this child within ourselves, we can heal it. But to do that, we need to be brave. We need to be brave to take off these layers that are not ours. You know, we either tend to mimic one of our parents most of the times, either to attract the attention of this parent, or if it is a girl, mimicking the behavior of the mother, it is because she sees that the father loves a lot the mother, and that's the way to attract the attention and the love of the father, by mimicking the behavior of the mother. So the subconscious processes, like, if I am like my mom, my dad is gonna love me very much, just like he loves her. And there's many other processes. It really is very individual who is going to develop what trait. It all depends on the behavior of the parents. And that's how, based on their behavior, we develop our behavior and we become a certain character, type of people, which affects us still in our adulthood. And most of the people, they just die this way from their physical life. They never figure out that deep inside of them, there's another person, another ego, which is craving to come out and to be free. And because we are suppressing it, that's where we become hurt. That's where bitterness comes from in our life. That's where depression comes, anxiety. The deep core and source of all this is really, truly the hurt child within ourselves. There is another process that happens which makes the things even deeper. And this is when the person decides to have children. Especially when the hurt child within is not healed. And most of the times it is not healed, believe me. So we jump into a new experience of being parents, and there's another automatical process that happens there because we already become the opposite of a child. We almost tend to forget the child within ourselves because we focus on our own children. And we start to take ourselves primarily as parents. I'm not a parent myself, but exactly because of this I can tell you how this process works. Because I'm still speaking from the point of view of a child only. And only a child only can really, truly discover so deeply all these processes. Because once we become a parent, we just bury everything. And we put our focus on an entirely different realm, entirely different experience. This is when we actually come to experience ourselves as gods, kind of, because we are all children of God, right? And that's how, when we have children, all our children, we experience the same like God experiences towards his own children. Love for all of them, no matter what they are, and anything that they speak about in the Bible and many other sources. But until we don't heal the child within ourselves, we are always going to be hurt, no matter what we do. That's why the first focus most of all, has to be towards the child within ourselves. Because if we have children and we heal the child within ourselves, this will automatically heal the child within in our own children. That's another chain of reactions, which is just automatical process. But this explains how being selfish is not selfish at all. Because when we work on ourselves, we work on a whole bunch of people around us without having to do anything with them. We don't even need to be in contact with them. Let's say our children are already grown-up adults and they have their own lives. But it will still reflect on them. It is absolutely inevitable. And this is the most beautiful part of this process. So focus on yourselves. Focus on your own child within, to turn it from hurt to a happy child. Lots of love.